Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's the end of the Red Wing season. Decided to skip the last week because we got eliminated from the playoffs.
The year in review.
Now we could talk about the whole year in the whole and how much of a failure it was. In hindsight, it was very much a failure. You ended up, again, struggling the last part of the year, losing games you needed to win. You lost your last 3 games, New Jersey, Tampa, and then got blown out against Florida to end the year.
Against their ECHL team.
You literally showed up for the last game, but you ended up with 41 wins. You were actually a point better than the last time you made the playoffs 10 years ago. And again, personally, I know a lot of Red Wings fans aren't happy, but it's difficult to fully critique the team besides their lack of effort in the month of March and April. When you look at everything, and again, you see that standing wise and where they're sitting in the AHL, they're top 16. If the NHL were to do a 1 through 16 playoff format, they would have made the playoffs. Theoretically. Actually, I think they would have just missed it with how Anaheim lost.
If you do that, though, then there's no benefit. I don't mind the system the way it is.
No, I don't. I'm not saying to go to 1 to 16. I'm just saying in general, if you wanted to try and put a positive spin on it, you technically would have been the 16th team in the playoffs.
I think it would be better served if you went to the first and second team in each division automatically makes the playoffs, and then the rest of it is wild cards. It's like the 4th through 8th spot would be best teams.
Well, again,
but I think the first and second team. I think the first 3 teams that's a little too much because we have gotten in over Philadelphia this year. I don't even know.
No, because they got 98 again. As I was telling you, in the Eastern,
well, then it worked out.
In the Eastern Conference, you need to have 100 points to make the playoffs. In the Red Wings standpoint of things, because 99 was the lowest in your division. Realistically, 98 obviously would make, but you need 100 points. And you had full opportunity to get there. You dropped many games in the month of March where you were winning, and then you end up losing. The Florida game, the Columbus game. You shouldn't have lost the Rangers. But you were at the bottom of the East, but that still puts you, if you do a whole league standing, you should be sitting somewhere around 17.
We were the 11th best team in our conference, and we scored 92 points.
So I think you're 15th in the draft order, which you don't have that pick because you traded it in the Justin Falk trade. And here's the thing. Wings fans act like that we always get these great picks. You know what you probably would have done? You probably would have fell. You probably would have got the 16th pick.
I'm not worried about that. I like Justin Falk. In fact, I thought he was up there, maybe the second best defenseman we had in the last few months or so, behind Mo Seider. But he scored 4 goals for us.
And again,
that's pretty good for a defenseman only for a month. He was productive, and our defense doesn't bother me.
No, it shouldn't.
And our goalie situation doesn't bother me. It's basically, we know what the problem is. Every Red Wing fan knows that. When I read comments on different sites, they all know. We all have the same opinion about things. We know what's wrong. This is an extremely soft team, mentally and physically.
So you're a bottom 10
doesn't
team.
Show up in the last 6 weeks of the season. They haven't done that for the last 3 or 4 years, but really they've been a soft team for a long time. But at least over the last 3 or 4 seasons, this team has not shown up in the last month and a half, 2 months of the season. And that's when, and we know that's crunch time. Really, basically, March is the playoffs. March is the playoffs. You have to bring that kind of mentality, and for whatever reason, they don't. And we have tried 3 different coaches in the last few years. We had Blashill, who was a decent coach, but he was kind of like he wasn't. I don't know if I'd say he was a player's coach, but he wasn't as overly a disciplinarian. And then you got Lalonde, who was, the guy was a big teddy bear. He basically would defend the players up and down and not say a bad thing about them, and that didn't work. And then so they went to McClellan, who is basically a tell it like it is coach. He doesn't, he doesn't mince words, and he tells you how it is, and we all appreciate that. From what I've read, nobody thinks we should get rid of Todd McClellan.
No, nobody. If you think we should get rid of him, you're crazy. And again, it makes it a difficult thing, right? Yzerman has improved the team year after year. Now, again, this year, your goals for has gone down 30 goals over the past 3 seasons, but your goals against has gone up. You have improved with your goals against, but decreased in the amount of goals you're scoring. And again, this year, you're bottom 10 in scoring goals, and then you're top 10 in goals against. It's a struggle for you to continue to play even halfway decent when you're not scoring. And
we had one consistent DeBrincat. He was the guy who played, point a game,
more than a point a game,
played his ass off. He's about the only forward you could think of off the top of your head.
And then Raymond was pretty close to a point per game. Raymond was close.
We expected Raymond to be better than DeBrincat. He's the first.
DeBrincat had, I think, almost a career year.
35 to 40 goals from Lucas Raymond.
And then you have Dylan Larkin.
25, which isn't terrible. No, I mean, like I said, but we expect him to be like DeBrincat. We need people to carry our team.
And here's the problem, right? I say move on from Patrick Kane, but if he's going to be top 5 in your points, you might as well re-sign him, even though he had 16 goals and 41 assists, 57 points on the year. Not terrible, but you need to get younger. I like Kane. I don't mind Kane being on the team.
I don't.
But at the same time, you need to move on. Right. But if he's going to be top 5 on your team in points and be your 4th best forward, you might as well re-sign him.
And I don't, like I said, I had envisioned who we could pick up next year and who, what our lines could be like. And, but Robert Thomas would be the guy I wanted at the trade deadline, and I still want. But I don't really understand why St. Louis would get rid of him.
Also, how much you want to give up? You already complained enough about, well, not you, but
I would give up
fan base in general.
I would give up a 1 next year and a 2, and I would give up a good player for Robert Thomas.
Here's the problem, though. You're going to deal with Red Wings fans again complaining that Yzerman doesn't know what he's doing.
Well,
because, you wanted him to make a big trade. He made a big trade, and then everyone complained.
But we know what the problem is. There is no mystery here. You have Dylan Larkin, who is the only real center we have on this team, but he's not a number 1 center. I read a statistic.
And his leadership right now has been questionable.
He had 1 5-on-5 goal after January. Is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that with your number 1 center. That's awful.
And as much as it's going to be a terrible thing, I know people hate me to say it, I think you need to get rid of Larkin.
Well, I mean,
as a leadership standpoint, either take the C or trade him.
Who's out there that you could sign to be a first-line center or a second-line center? I've heard the rumor with the trade with New Jersey.
With the Hershiser.
And I would be I would think about that.
It'd be interesting, but again,
you still don't have a second-line center.
You're gonna probably leaning on Kasper is probably what you're going to be doing.
Okay, well, fine. Then Kasper better develop into a hell of a. He needs to develop then quite a bit. He did not have a good year.
He did not. He had a good first year. Did not have a good year last year. He needs a bounce back year next year. But Larkin needs to either lose the C and give someone else the opportunity, probably Seider, be your captain, or trade him and Seider become your captain. There needs to be a shakeup in leadership in the locker room. And I know people don't want to admit it, but Larkin has been there for the past few years for these collapses. First year, he blamed coaching. Last year, he blamed management. Who do you blame this year?
I think he knows he can't blame anybody else.
You can't blame anybody.
Especially with that stat. I mean, you cannot have your first-line center score 1 goal since January. That's just 1 5-on-5 goal. No way. I know he had like 34 goals, but you can't just sit there in the power play all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, I'm glad he's good on the power play, but at the same time.
Yeah, there's with the free agents coming, they're coming. I wouldn't sign a single unrestricted free agent back Give Simon Evanson an extension. Give Kosa an extension. Give Mazur some money, and they already signed Lombardi. Outside of that, I don't know who you're going to keep. Realistically, you need to revamp this team a little bit.
A little bit. Mostly their bottom six.
Mostly their bottom six. And again, it's a difficult thing to fully get at because, right, you have tied your highest win total out of the past 5 years and have one more point. Right. So again, you would have made the playoffs 2 years ago with 92 points. This year you need 100. And every year now we're going to have to hope that we're basically first place come the month of March by at least 5 to 10 points and to have any kind of relative hope of a playoff push. Because that's how it's been the past 3-4 years is we get close to the month of March and then you fall apart and you don't make the playoffs.
Well,
so now you're going to need 90 points by the time you hit March for anyone to feel confident.
Is that the best scenario is you get to March and you're in a playoff picture and you play your best hockey in March. That's the scenario. You want to go into the playoffs playing your best hockey.
Yes.
And they haven't done that. I don't really care what place they're in. I just want them to play their best hockey the last 6 weeks of the season instead of the worst.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need to be sitting around 90 points come March in order for anybody to have a relative hope of playoff, which is unrealistic.
Well, right, because they don't. I mean, like I said, you look at their players. They have. Like I said, outside of DeBrincat, I really don't see any stability, any consistency. We'll see. Like I said, we all know they need a second center, a productive second center. We need our Adam Oates. We need our fucking. You look back in the Steve Yzerman era. I mean, you had Fedorov and Yzerman as your 1 and 2. Jeez. You can't do any better than that. But Larkin needs his Fedorov, or Yzerman, depending on which one you like better. So I mean, how are we going to do that? Who are the centers that are available?
I'm pulling up right now
because that's who we need to look for tomorrow, next year.
Anze Kopitar.
Yeah, he's like 40 years old.
He's retiring. Connor Bedard is a restricted free agent. Give him an offer sheet. Make Chicago pay him. Give him an offer sheet.
Well, I mean, if he's I mean, that ain't gonna happen. But maybe Kirby Dach, somebody like that. You got
Gustav Nyquist.
Bring Fantilli back. He's a Michigan guy.
He's a restricted free agent. You have to have an offer sheet.
Well, good. Let's give him an offer sheet. Who is
Jonathan Toews? Let's bring Toews and Kane together.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you're going too far down. What are you doing? Is this in alphabetical order or something? What are you doing?
No, it's by pay they had last year.
Yeah, go up. I don't want any of these schmucks.
Well, you have nobody up top.
Who's Kevin Hayes? Let's get him.
He's 34.
Yeah, I don't care. Have him get in. We need a second center. Can you sign him to 2 or 3 years?
Here, you say, let's get this guy. Let's see how much.
Let's see what his stats are, man.
Probably did crappy.
Probably did. Probably sucks.
Have any stats?
No stats.
Let me look it up. I would say there's like.
I'm just saying, anybody. You need a second line center that's going to put 25 to 35 goals in and have a 60.
Yeah, let's get him
65 to 70 points.
He had 8 points, 4 goals, and 4 assists this year.
Oh, was he hurt? He must have been hurt. What is that? Doesn't make any sense. Kevin averages 8 points a game. That doesn't even make any sense. Where are you getting these from? Oh man, that's crazy. That's not true. Unless he didn't play.
He played 28 games.
Oh, he got hurt. He was hurt.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe he just sucked and they were paying some guys.
You only played 28 games, you're hurt.
Maybe he sucked.
No, maybe I don't think he sucked. So
never heard of him before, looking at this website and seeing he made $7 million.
See what his injury is and stuff.
Because
he had to have been injured. But we need a second line center. That's all we know.
You're trying to give an offer sheet to Trevor Zegras.
Right. I mean, I'd love that. But are you going to do that? He's an older guy too, right?
Eric Kula would be an interesting one too.
But Kirby Dach would be great.
Again, there's not a lot out there because people are.
Problem is too, who's going to want to come to the Wings? Who's going to want to come here? So you might be stuck with Casper as your second center.
And
but
again,
he needs to be the second center. He needs to know this is your year. You had a bad year last year. We're counting on you. We need you to be our second line center. And that we might be stuck. And then maybe we should just work on, hey, who can we get for the bottom six? We need some toughness. We need some guys who aren't going to die, who aren't jerseys, who are going to come to play.
If you want to right wing Patrick Lane, go from Patrick Kane to Patrick Lane.
Well, yeah, I would love that. And he's kind of is he a tough guy or no?
No.
He's another just a guy who's one-timer shooters. Hell, go get Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, go get a Vander Kane.
Alex Ovechkin's tougher than any guy on our team. He's 40-some years old now, and he's tougher than any guy on our team.
Let's see who else. Again, it's just looking at all these stuff. There isn't a lot of great names this year in free agency. Sign Anthony Mantha. He's been playing well in Pittsburgh.
He has been. And Dylan Larkin loves him. So they'd be good friends. But he gets hurt every year. Does he ever play a full season? Does he ever play a full half a season?
Well, like I said, looking at everything right now, again, there's no big names that are fully standing out.
And again, on top of what you want, do they want to come here? That's the big thing. We have become, I think, poison around the league. No one wants. I think it's very hard for us to get it for somebody. Who's that kid from Michigan and Winnipeg that everyone was talking about would be available? Did they re-sign him?
Kyle Connor?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't see him as a free agent, so
I don't get it.
Joe Villano.
Yeah, let's get Joe Villano back.
Making less than $1 million.
But
again,
Kyle Connor, he's I thought he was up for free agency. I thought that was one of the names.
Let's see. DeBrincat is also on the last year of his deal. So are you going to re-sign DeBrincat? Because he's about to be a free agent in 2027.
You're going to have to. He's your best player.
Along with Nico Hischier. If you're going to trade for him, you got to get both those guys contracts.
They're on their last year of their contract. How do you know?
Because I went a year later looking at free agencies in the future. What can we look forward to after next year? How far are we planning out?
Well, I think we see what this is. The Yzer plan didn't work, and we're in a load of shit because I don't see a way out. I mean,
draft-wise, it has worked really well.
I don't see a way out of it.
Draft-wise, the Yzer plan has worked fairly well with your minor league teams crushing the competition.
Pure shooter.
But NHL-wise, Yzer plan hasn't worked. But Grand Rapids and Toledo are very happy with the Yzer plan because they have been very successful over his 7 years as a GM. But that has not fully.
Alex DeBrincat?
29. Unless that's the age at the end of his contract, then.
Yeah, that's next year, 29. I mean, what can you sign these guys for if they want it? I would not sign Alex DeBrincat.
Probably give him 4 years.
Guy past 35 years old.
Hey, he's one of the tougher guys on your team.
Yes, but your age is going to catch up to you and your size. He's not.
Actually, he'll get less injuries. You can wait 2 more years and we can sign Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid.
We're talking about Austin Matthews. Well, like I said, 3 years the new CBA comes out, or the contract for the
Tyler Bertuzzi can come home. It's stuck with Compher for 2 more years.
I really don't know what the answers are this year. I know what they need, but I don't know if the answers are out there. Who are our? This is our for this year or next?
This is this year's. David Perron, Kane.
Honestly, they should all.
No, but nobody should be back. They just signed Leonard, though. I think. No, they signed Lombardi.
Yeah, I would. I just signed. I bring up John Leonard and Austin Watson. I bring up all these guys and let Vans Riemdijk for another year.
What do you mean Austin? What you about to say? Austin Watson, the young guy who's 35 years old.
I don't care. He fights. He's cheap too. Let's get some.
All these guys gone. All of them gone.
Let's get some aggression.
Perron, Kane, Van Riemsdyk.
I don't know about Van Riemsdyk. He scored 50 for what he does.
Get younger. Gone.
Maybe a year you signed Van Riemsdyk. He played really. I think he was worth it this year for $1
Cops
million bucks. I think he gave us a good season.
Cops contract has one more year, so
Mason
Cops on his.
Appleton, that's next year.
This is next year, so.
Oh God, Mason Appleton, he was awful.
You give DeBrincat a good amount of money because you could give him Cop and Appleton's contracts.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
2028, you get to finally lose Rasmussen and Comfer.
You got to get rid of Michael Rasmussen this year. You got to trade him.
You
got to get rid of that guy. He's
currently
jersey,
no free agents in 2029.
Guy doesn't
2030. 31's when Larkin's contract falls off.
But the problem is you got rid of Elmer Soderblom, who probably had some upside, and he's playing well.
Oh, yeah, he's been playing well.
And so, is Rasmussen? You're going to trade him, and suddenly he becomes some great player? You got rid of the wrong guy, to me. No one wants probably Michael Rasmussen though. So but Elmer Soderblom, I wish they wouldn't have got rid of him.
So you are stuck with Larkin until 2031. Raymond's contract falls off in 2032.
God dang.
So
they're in trouble. I don't no way around it. If they don't get in-house talent to come up from the Griffins, then I think they're in a lot of trouble.
Okay, it wasn't. I would not say this year's a throwaway year. I get what people saying being upset. Some people are again saying it's back to the Dead Wings era. You have had a winning record the past 3 years. I don't know if you consider that dead. You just have fallen on your face a few times. I wouldn't say they're dead though. Is the one thing. They have had a winning record. They've been in a playoff push till game 80 for the most part for the past 3 years. They've just not gotten over the hump. Again, in your division, no one would have guessed Buffalo would have won this year. Won the division. No one probably would have guessed Montreal would have won the division this year.
You've had 3 teams pass you by. Ottawa, Buffalo, Montreal. And guess what? Philadelphia too has passed you by.
I don't know if they've passed you.
Yeah, I mean they got 98 points. They got the playoffs. They're a team. Then they're only going to get better. They're a young team.
The whole East is only going to get better.
Right. So what is your? And we look like we're only going to get worse. We are trending in the opposite direction.
You ran the Western Conference. I've said it multiple times. You ran the Western Conference.
I mean,
but you can't run the Eastern Conference.
Do you think we're going to make the playoffs next year?
It depends on the moves of the offseason.
I do with really. The current, if you had to place $100 bet right now.
With the current team, I would say no.
If you even had to predict what they could get, would you predict them to make the playoffs next year?
I predict them to be in the playoff race till game 81.
So no.
No.
No. Yeah. You don't think so either. I don't think so.
I don't think the current
I certainly don't. I don't think they're one of the top 8 teams in the East next year.
Florida's
going to be up there.
Florida's going to be better. Toronto will be better.
Florida's going to be back.
Our whole division is going to be fighting for the playoffs, including us. We will be in the fight like we have been the past few years. But can you hold off Florida? Can you hold off the Maple Leafs? Can you?
Right. Are the Maple Leafs going to stay down?
Can you win 2 or 3 more games and be up where Boston and Ottawa were? And potentially even Buffalo. Buffalo's not going to be just as good next year, but they're going to be good.
We had only 2 teams in the entire conference that were below 500. Only 2. Everybody else was above 500. You're fighting for your lives every night. You have to have
New Jersey's not.
You got to have toughness. We don't have either of those things when it comes to shove. And I don't see, like I said, we'll see who they get. But it's not only a like I said, we know second line center or first line center to go with Larkin.
And realistically, this is the thing in the NHL.
They want to take the C away from Larkin. Well, what's that going to do to him? Is that going to crush him even more? Is that going to? I don't know what to do. I wouldn't take the C away from him unless you talk to him and say, "Look, we need to take some pressure off you." And I don't want to. It can't be. This guy has given his heart and soul. I just don't think he's good enough.
The problem is with Larkin is, again, you have gone through another playoff collapse under his leadership on the player standpoint, right? You would fire a coach if he had 3 straight years of collapses.
Well, I mean,
like that. You technically would usually fire a GM, but they're not going to do that with Yzerman. Right? So, what are we going to do about the player side of leadership? I think this was the first full year of Raymond and Seider getting the A.
And honestly, I'm not even going to pay attention to him in the offseason. I don't even care. Because you know what Yzerman's like. He just acts like nothing is happening. He's boring. He's not motivational, at least to the fan base. He doesn't give the fan base anything to look forward to. He's going to sit there and go, I try. It is monotone, boring Steve Yzerman. He does not inject any life in the fan base. And I don't expect, I think he hasn't made any giant moves to begin with. So let's see what happens. But you're telling me there's nobody out there to even get.
And in general, there's not really anyone you're going to have to trade.
Because I think, most of the ones that we want, they're going to re-sign them. I didn't even see Robert Thomas up there. He's not a free agent.
Why would he be?
Well, right. So who makes people think that this guy's available to us?
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. And again, we're talking about how the NHL is in general. Only 5 teams were below 500 in the whole league.
That's crazy.
Only 5 teams had a losing record.
How is that even possible? That's insane.
In general, the talent in the NHL is up there. So you could fall any year. It's difficult to assess how good you really are unless you're a Vancouver Canucks who let up 316 goals this year and have a negative 100 goal differential, or Chicago who had a negative 62. Again, you can tell how bad your team really is, but in general, you're beating most of these teams above 500. And, you're sitting in a spot where...
Who are the guys that can come up from at Grand Rapids?
You probably talk about Danielson.
That's probably more likely than anything else, is that you're going to get an injection of youth from the minors.
So you're probably talking...
Because you're not... I just can't see them signing many people.
You talk about Danielson. You talk about Mazur. You talk about, Kostas coming up, probably the backup next year. Are they going to bring up Lombardi? There's a bunch of young guys who are ready.
Is Lombardi a center? I think he is, isn't he?
He might be.
Check him out.
But in general, but again, we'll see what ends up happening this offseason. We'll take it day by day. It is a disappointing result of the year, but this team is not bad. I think that's the one thing a lot of people need to wrap around their head. It's not bad. The league itself is just so competitive that they have gotten unlucky and also beaten themselves year after year. Because they were a first-place team this year. At one point, they were a first-place team, fighting for first place in all of the East. And then the Olympic break happened. Larkin went and partied, which was deservingly so after winning gold. And you fell apart in the month of March.
Right. I mean, next year, the only thing I could think of is if you don't re-sign Kane, I mean, that's going to affect the Brinket's output. Who's going to be passed? You got to have someone to pass to you. You got to have someone to set you up.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be, I mean, to me, the Brinket's a first line guy.
You probably will be.
He plays the same as Raymond, though, right? They play the same position.
You swap the wings or wings. It's whatever.
I mean, your first line should be basically the Brinket, Larkin, and Raymond.
Probably.
I mean, but then what are you going to have? You have nothing.
Nothing the rest of the way. Exactly. So it is what it is.
So what are you going to do?
They'll figure it out this all. We'll see. We'll go with the rumors. Videos will slow down as always in the offseason.
Right. You can't put. I can't see you putting the Brinket on a line with Casper as your center and some schmuck on your right. I mean, if there's no one to generate from him, that's just asking too much of him. Right. You got to have people on your line.
But we'll see what ends up happening. We have to end it. Right. I have no much time left. So we'll end it here. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the Wings season, how they did, all that fun stuff. Hopefully a better off season. Until next time, see everybody soon.